In today's tutorial, I'm going to be walking you through how to draw St. Paul. We celebrate the feast day of St. Paul and St. Peter on June 29th, and I'm going to show you how to draw him using simple lines and simple shapes. For this tutorial, all you need is a piece of paper, a pencil, and something to color with. So just a reminder, you can pause the video at any time and feel free to make any changes to your St. Paul drawing. It does not have to look like mine. Feel free to get creative with it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw an oval shape in for his head. So kind of close to the top of my paper, I'm going to start to sketch out my oval shape. And you can make that head as big or as small as you want to on your paper. And you might notice that because of his beard, the shape might look a little bit egg-like at the beginning, but I'm actually going to choose to add that beard in later for my drawing. But if you want to add yours in now, that is okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to be adding in these curved lines to create his shoulders and his arms. So these lines are going to start near the bottom of that oval, kind of where the chin is. And I'm going to do a gradual slope that comes down and towards the left side out a little bit, like this. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So starting at a similar spot on that oval, but this time on the right side of my paper, and sketching in the line that comes down and out towards the right, like so. Before we finish up these arms, we're actually going to place in his hands. So how about we start with this hand right here? We're going to start with kind of a mitten shape, and we're going to leave a little bit of space between this bottom of what's going to be the elbow and where we're going to place that hand. So I'm going to start off with a longer curve, kind of like an upside down U, for the tallest fingers of his hand, and I'm going to do a smaller curve, upside down U, to create where that thumb is going to go. So that hand kind of looks like a mitten at the beginning. I'm going to separate these into the tall fingers by adding in some lines, kind of breaking apart that upper mitten shape. And I'm going to finish up his arm by adding in a line that starts from his hand and connects to the bottom of this curve, and another line here for that upper part of his arm. And feel free to make any adjustments as needed. That's good enough for now. We're going to add in this hand that's holding onto that sword. So we just see some of the knuckles on this hand. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space between the edge of this line and where I start to put in that fist. I'm going to start off with kind of like a curved square shape. So it's kind of like a square or rectangle, but instead of pointy corners, the corners are going to be a little bit more rounded like this. I'm going to add a little curve, think like a parenthesis for where the thumb is going to be. And then I'm going to separate this shape into those knuckles by adding in a line like this, but not all the way across. And that kind of hints at those knuckles. Before I finish up that arm, we're going to put in his sword. So oftentimes in art and statues, you'll see him holding a sword. So I'm going to start off with a rectangle that's going to go right above this fist. So I start with a line right above the fist like this, creating that bottom part of that handle. I'm going to leave a little bit of space and draw a parallel line right above it. And I'm going to connect those with some lines coming down. And I can erase this part of the shoulder like that. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw the center line, and that's going to help me figure out the direction of my sword and to help keep it more centered. So right here in the middle of this rectangle shape, I'm going to start to sketch my line up and straight like this. And once I have that sword as high as I want it to be, I'm going to draw this upside down V point. Think kind of like the point of a triangle. So I'm going to have a diagonal line that comes this way and one that comes towards the right this way. And I'm going to continue those edges down until I touch that original rectangle shape. So the angle of that triangle, that's going to determine how wide this sword is. So you can make it as narrow or broad as you want it to be. And any lines left over from like his shoulders and arms, you can just erase those when you're all done. To finish up that sword, there's a little curve underneath his fist at the bottom, kind of like this. And then I'm going to add a line that connects this part of his sleeve to that bottom of his sword. So in his other arm, I have him holding a book. If you want to change that into something like a scroll instead, go for it. But we're going to start with this line for the edge of his book. So near the tips of his tall fingers, I'm going to draw a line that comes down like this. And I'm going to add a line here at the bottom for the bottom of the book, and a line here for this top edge of the book. I'm going to do a downwards line to finish up that part of the cover. And I'm going to add a diagonal line here to make it look like that book's a little bit open, and put a straight up and down line right there to close it off. We're going to add this line for the top of his cloak. So starting kind of near where his sword is, you're going to draw a line that comes up towards the book. I'm going to stop when I hit the book or an arm, and I'm going to continue that line on the other side. So it's a little bit slanted and draped at an angle. I think I'm going to widen my St. Paul's shoulders just a little bit, just for my personal taste. And what we're going to be working on next is his the bottom part of his clothing. So we're going to start with these lines for the edges. So starting near where his hand holding the sword is, you can put a downwards line that comes down and out towards the left of your paper, kind of like this, for as tall as you want him to be. And we're going to do a similar line, but angled the opposite direction on that right side of our paper. And I'm going to try to match them as best as I can and make sure that I have those lines just right for however wide I want his clothing to be. So once I get the lines put in, as long as I want them to be, I'm going to connect them with a curved line like a smile. So I'm going to start on one edge, round out my line, and connect it to the other side. And that's going to wrap up that bottom part of his clothing. I'm also going to put in these little curves for a hint of his shoes sticking out. So a little more on this left side, I'm going to do a curve, think kind of like a U shape, but angled towards the left, like so. And I'm going to do one on the other side, but pointing towards the right. And if you want to change up the look of his shoes, maybe give him sandals or bare feet or something instead, feel free to make any changes. I just decided to keep it simple. We're going to add this sash or kind of like belt that's kind of separating his torso from the bottom of his body. So right underneath this arm, I'm going to put a curved line, think kind of like a smile line, that's going to go all the way across, like so. And if you want to add some extra lines to make it look like folds of fabric or detailing, you can add those in similar curves. We're going to add in these edges for this cloak cape that he's wearing. So over here by this left of the paper, this arm, I'm going to draw a line that comes down, similar angle to the bottom of his clothing, and I'm going to stop wherever I want the bottom edge of that fabric to go. So I'm thinking maybe about here. And I'm going to do a longer line starting from this arm, also going down, similar angle to the bottom of his clothing, near his feet, just a little bit longer. I'm going to add a wavy line to connect the edges of this cloak to the edge of his clothing, so kind of up and down in a swoop. And I'm going to do something similar over here. I'm going to do a wavy line up and down as many times as you want, connecting those edges together. We're going to be working on his head and facial hair next. So let's start with his ears. About the center of your oval on the edges, you're going to add a curve on each side to create the edges of his ears. And I'm going to add a curve, think almost like a V or triangle point, but a little bit more curved and rounded out at the bottom for that beard shape if you didn't already add it in. For the top of his hair, I have a little V, kind of triangle, center of his forehead, near the top of his head. And I can see just a little sliver of hair on the sides of his head. So kind of near his ear, I'm going to add a thin little line to finish off his hair. We're going to be placing in his facial details. I'm going to do a simple face on mine. Right about the middle, I'm going to put 2 little circles for his simple eyes. So in between his eyes, I'm going to start a line that comes down and ever so slightly towards the left, about halfway in between the eyes and the bottom of the chin. And I'm going to do a line that kind of comes up a little like that. I'm going to add a mouth in between that nose and the bottom of his face. I'm going to do just a slight smile for mine, and I'm going to finish up the shape of his beard and facial hair. So right around his nose, I'm going to add a curve that comes down and connects to that bottom beard area, kind of like this. I'm going to thicken up this area by adding in another curved line on either side, creating that top part of his facial hair. And I'm going to finish up his face by adding in some eyebrows right above his eyes. The last thing that I did in this drawing was I decided to give him a halo. It's totally up to you if you want to do that or not. And I'm just going to find something round to trace, or you can freehand it. But I'm going to put my little circle that I'm going to use as my stencil and just lightly trace around that. And unless there's any changes or additions that you want to make to your St. Paul, he is ready to color. So when I color, I love to use markers because that's what works well on camera. And before I color it in with markers, I love to use micron pens, kind of like this, to outline my pencil. You can use any art supplies that you have at home, and I'll turn up some music and we'll get back together in a little bit. Thank you so much for following along. I would love to see how your drawings turned out. Feel free to tag me on social media, and know that I post new Catholic-inspired art tutorials here on my channel every month. If you'd like to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee or get something from my art supply wish list. And I want to remind you that you are loved. God loves you very much, and he loves your artwork very much. Thank you so much for drawing along with me, and I'll see you in the next video.